just had a conversation with the sweetest local guy. Sweetest guy. His parents are Filipino. Wherever I go, I ask people, especially here in Sabah, in Malaysia, the ethnicities they come from, where all the history. Um, Here in Sandakan, where I am, it seems that nearly everybody is coming from someplace else. In other words, unlike on the other side of the island, hold on a second, it's a vehicle. On the other side of the island, where there's many people who have been for thousands of years here on this island, over here they've really only come, most people, within the last 120 years, really. Most people even within the last 50 years. One wonders what happened to the original inhabitants, but there were big, entrepreneurial kingdoms, entrepreneurial empires coming out of the Philippines, on the other side coming out of Brunei, but really it's mostly Filipino that's been involved here. So it could be for a very long time the people from the island didn't have any way to interact locally. Although again, it's very confusing because genetically, racially, there's the Austronesian people are all around this area, and you can't really necessarily tell people apart quite that much. You can to some degree, but to a large degree, especially with the Bajau, there's been so much mixing, and there was even slavery at one point, which involves all that it involves. So genetically, there's a real mix. The only real issue that you face here, the only complicated issue, is that the law over here is that if a Muslim marries a non-Muslim, then the non-Muslim must become Muslim. So that means that those tribes that are not Muslim, and they're Christian, or some of them would prefer to remain actually, not Christian also. They prefer to keep their old faith. Those people, for the last 120 years, officially, they're classified as enemies. I kid you not. Not everybody knows this, but you speak to historians or people that are very actively involved, they know this, and everybody does know how they're treated. If you don't, again, it's the Christians, basically, as a large group that have difficulties. The men have a very hard time getting married, because for a man to change his religion for his wife's religion, that's somewhat emasculating. And also, how exactly you're going to meet a Muslim girl and all the rest. It happens, and men do. I've met Dusun Karasan people who end up marrying a Muslim girl and become Muslim. They continue to eat pork, they continue to drink alcohol, just not around their wife's family. Islam over here is actually done better than I've seen Islam done anywhere else. Islam is done here better than I've seen Christianity done almost anywhere else. Really, almost anywhere else. But the enemies, those people who want to keep their old ways, really, everything has been going at them. The government's been going since forever. It's kind of over now. There's very few of them left. And they're very, very much in the hinterlands, those few that are left. Or they're on a distant island. This is an island. Borneo is an island, but there are even smaller islands. But anyway, like I said, Islam has done really, really well here. So it's, converting is not a terrible thing for most people, I think. This guy I was speaking to, so he's like most people here. He's engaged for years. Instead of using the word girlfriend, they use the word fiance. And it's a number of years, and then because you have to make money first, and and then eventually you get married, because if you have a kid, she can't work, etc. Usually, at least for a while. It works better here than it does in Egypt. Not just Islam, but even capitalism, even marriage. In Islam, but the same issues you face, because as everywhere in the world, there are benefits given to women for being workers. Women are naturally more compliant, is the word, and therefore they get better jobs. They get hired more quickly. And in Egypt, just so many broken engagements. Men who have been strung along for years and years and years. We're talking between 4 and 8 years as engaged. And by the way, engaged means In Egypt, it means not even holding hands. Over here, holding hands is fine, hugging. They certainly don't sleep together, and they don't kiss. Well, although some people, I'm sure, do in private, whatever. As, the best of the Christian groups until recently in America was the Mormons. By best, I don't mean in terms of their theology, or that's between them and their imaginations, theology. But in terms of real life, how things actually work out for human beings. And the Mormons would kiss and sometimes do much, much more, anything but vaginal, basically. But the Mormons as well. The Mormons have fallen apart ever since they helped the United States government violate the First Amendment to the Constitution by getting rid of the FLDS, the Fundamentalist Latter-day Saints, the polygamous ones. Now, the FLDS, they're widely hated by the general America for being polygamous, but they are, those who know them hate them because their prophet was a piece of shit, an absolute, genuine piece of shit. Nonetheless, the Mormons made a big mistake getting rid of them, because prior to that, the Mormons were perfectly located on a seesaw between standard issue American insanity that just changes, that it can pick up any ideology in a second, and all of a sudden everyone has to abide by it. Like the transgender thing is the best example. It happened within our lifetimes. Happened within the past 15 years. 15 years ago, the idea of transgender was a joke on every American sitcom. No human being took it seriously anywhere outside of San Francisco. And even in San Francisco, it was embraced precisely because it was weird and transgressive. And then suddenly, it became the religion of the land. So that kind of thing happens in America with all kinds of stuff. And the Mormons were situated halfway between that, American normalcy, let's say, what is going on in America. By normal, I mean only that it's popular, not necessarily biologically healthy or socially healthy. And the FLDS, who were like strict Mormons of a very unpleasant kind, but nonetheless should be allowed to do their thing, because religious freedom is an American ideal, I think, a very important one. And the Mormons have been, since they got rid of them, they're sliding straight down. That guy who killed Charlie Kirk, for example, perfect example, exactly from that area, from Hurricane, exactly from the FLDS area. Get rid of the FLDS as a countermeasure, and you end up the way he ended up. Anyways, so over here also you still have the issue of, women making more money. And therefore, if a woman meets a man who makes even more money than the guy she's been engaged with the past bunch of years, then they leave, right? But men know this already, like the fellow who I was talking to. Wonderful guy, really wonderful guy. So, him and his girl, they speak every day. They're intending to get married in 2 years. They don't have a date. That's the thing, man. If you actually want to get married, you should have a date. Not that I'm saying you should get married, but he's pretty confident. But even he can't be 100% confident. But overall, everywhere in the world people complain. Everywhere in the world people think things are better elsewhere. But overall, all things measured, all things considered, at the end of the day, things in Sabah, which is this part of Malaysia, the island of Borneo. And my understanding is it's the same thing in Sarawak, the other part of Malaysia that's Borneo. The other part of Borneo that's also Malaysia. But certainly I can speak to Sabah. I can definitely speak to Sabah. I've been all over. Things here are, on average, better than in most other places, in most ways. I mean, it's just too much to say, and I'm trying to keep this as a short. Oh, it's 8 minutes? I guess I'm not successful at making it a short. Okay, may as well continue then. The Chinese, for example, are not liked almost anywhere in the world. They treat other people as things to be exploited. They're kind of, robotic. The only exceptions are Northern California, and presumably environs around there, although I couldn't say for sure. But Northern California and Sabah, really. And it's not just that this is the South Pacific and that it's, no, in the Philippines, they really don't like them. And in Malaysia proper, on the peninsula, Kuala Lumpur, that area, the Chinese, they don't love them either. In fact, this guy was telling me how a Chinese guy, his workers got Abu Sayyaf, the Islamic fundamentalist rebel group in the southern Philippines, to kidnap him. They sold him to be kidnapped on pain of death. I don't know if he was killed or not, That's how it works. They kidnap you for money. He was a ship captain, but he was not from here. The Chinese people here are quite liked. I mean, as much as anyone else is liked, you know. It's even though they're generally not Muslim also. So for the most part, they're kind of the ones, the men anyway, marrying Kadazan women. The men of the Kadazan and the Rungus and the Dusun and the Murud, the men, they have a... But, you know, men will put up with a lot of stuff. That's the ancient curses of the Bible. A woman has to put up with, you know, ever since man and woman decided, or really woman decided for man and he went along with it. I'm a rabbi. I can read the original Hebrew to you to explain how it all works, but I'm not going to do that right now. But in short, women put up with a lot of family difficulty ever since they've invented the idea of romance in order to tie man to the ground, to be an agriculturalist, to work in an office, instead of just being a hunter. And men put up with being slaves without even the promise of romance or sex, without even the guarantee of any of that. So, you know, anyway, but like I said, for all of whatever issues you might have, Sabah has it done better than most places. And unfortunately, they're a little too humble to be preaching to the world, because some of them were living in the jungle. Even today, there are some people, I happen to know, other people don't know, that there are still some people, at most a few hundred, still living in the jungle. But other people were living really non-civilized until very, very, very recently. I met people who themselves were pagan themselves, in other words, enemies. And of course, they converted at some point or other to either Christianity or Islam, and people that I know. And, you know, that comes together with capitalism and modernity and all the rest. In other words, they were living pre-modern in their own lifetimes. So therefore, they have the, hey, man, we don't know. You know, we're learning from the world. What's pretty cool is they're not picking up from the rest of the world, like the worst things, but those things are coming. Those things are already showing up. They're already showing up. The greed, the capitalistic greed, the religious extremism. They're still young, but they're showing up, which is a shame. It would be great if the people of Sabah got the self-esteem necessary to tell the world, hey, listen, you know, okay, fine. We heard everything you guys have to say, and you got a lot of great ideas. You've figured a lot of shit out that our ancestors did not, and they're necessarily caring about their ancestors. You know, they think it's funny that their grandparents or great-great-grandparents were headhunters. It's funny. It's not. They don't. What tribe they come from, what it means. You know, they're not playing the racial game at all. They're not playing the racial game, the tribal game, to their credit. But they could say, hey, okay, fine. So we just figured it out, and you guys have great ideas. But also a lot of crazy stuff that we've decided not really to accept. Let us tell you how we see it. You know, let us tell you how Islam can be done better than it's done. Well, I recently lived in Egypt, as you can see. Islam is wonderful in Egypt, but it has real problems that it does not have here. that would be good for people in Egypt to know about. They don't know about it. They don't have. It's not that they rejected it. They don't know. This guy I was speaking to. So right now he just went to pray. He's a genuine Muslim. He's a legit, genuine Muslim. You know, and but he's way too humble to actually tell you know, people who have been Muslim for 1,000 years how to be Muslim. But I think people want to know. Capitalism too. People in America would like to know how you can have the optimism of capitalism without the greed. Although the greed has really made inroads here. Woo! Very fast. I mean, it's like they all went to the same business school. And it's mostly, I'm sorry to say, it's mostly done by women. I'm sorry to say, not because of feminist reasons, but because usually this is not a female problem. This is usually a male problem, the greed stuff. So the fact that it comes more from women than from men, you know, really the women working in banks commonly, it's, come on, you know, anyway, it's just something to know.